Well, hey there, this is Jerry with What's Broke Today, and I'm getting started on another lawn service trailer, and let me show you what I got to fix on this one. We're going to start out back here on the gate, and I don't know if you can see where it's kind of bent a little. Well, he backed underneath a tree, and actually I think he might have hit something, even got too close to the tree, because that's bent, but he ain't worried about that. But he cracked it here. And then when he was trying to do some straightening, it wrinkled up pretty good. So I'm going to cut kind of a slot in there, get this straight, then straighten the gate as best I can. And then I'm going to weld the crack up and then see if I can find a piece of steel to weld either on the inside or the outside to kind of reinforce that. And then another thing we're going to do is, I don't know how long ago it's been. He went up and had this tread plate bent, and I cut things out, welded that in so he'd have a step, and then welded that on there to deflect the rocks because the rocks kept hitting and knocking the light out. But he decided he wanted like a little cover on the front, so he went up and got a couple pieces of tread plate cut. I'm gonna weld these in and finish up that, and then also of course the rocks come bouncing up and hit and knock the wires off the light. So I will see what I can find. I get the camera in a better spot. I'm gonna see what I can find that I can weld kind of in here that will deflect the rocks down. That I don't know how far back I'll come, but I'm thinking I'm gonna come way back here. Come way back here, just so that it not much will probably get past this piece I put in for the support, but get back here so that if a rock makes it back this far, it doesn't hit and knock our wire off. And of course, on our final thing, our two things, see where that's broke, and you can see where I've welded that before. I welded it up here, and I think it's when if he has this thing loaded with a tarp, um, he hooks onto the rails. I think pulling the rail in is how he ends up breaking these. So what I'm probably gonna have to do here is, get her welded and then find something I can weld on there for a reinforcement. Because I got to do that one real bad, and then this one is cracked up here. And it's cracked down here above where I welded it last time. Of course, on this side, it's made it clear around the corner. So, but I don't know, because you can see not the first time I've had to do welding on these spots, and it may not even be his fault. It could be just because I'm gonna guess that 1, 2, yeah, I'll say most of these uprights have had some kind of work done on. Probably only 1 or 2 have not been welded on. So it very well could just be crappy steel, because I've done more welding on this trailer than anybody else's trailer, and most of it's been fixing goofy stuff like this. I welded on a whole bunch of these D-rings so you can tie stuff down, but yeah, so let me get things set up, and we're going to work on the gate first. Okay, well, I was getting ready to start here, and first thing I'm going to do is cut a groove right through the middle of that where it's ripped. Okay. I'm just going to go right through the middle of that. And then since, pretty much I think where the bend is going to come out of it is right in, where that pipe comes through with the latch. Um, but I brought up my chunk of railroad iron, and that don't work very good. Let's try this. That's better. That's better, but let's try doing this a little different. Mosquitoes are after me. All right, now I bent that back, and I mean, it's not as straight as I'd like, but I think when I get ready to weld, I can take because I cut me a piece of steel, I'm going to make fit on the back side of this to kind of reinforce that, or attempt to. Okay, that way we're a little deeper, or a little wider gap there, and might get my pipe wrench so I can hang it in there and actually, push down out here. But next thing I want to do is get my chair out of the way. Okay. And then let's unhook this. I'm just going to set this down. Kind of like so. Oh, well, yeah, it looks like that crack. We're going to do some welding in here, too. I just set that on my floor jack and push this down because he actually, when I stand back here and look at it like this, I actually see where it's even bent up into here. But move my floor jack back a little. So I think for now, I'll might get this back out at the barn and try and redo this out there closer to the welder. And I'm going to see if I can get that a little more straighter. Back out here at the barn, I got my big pipe wrench. I'm going to get it on there like so and see if I can achieve the bend I want. Yeah, it's better. Of course, not perfect, but it ain't terribly bad. Yeah, well, that might just have to do. I think where I'm going to do is come up here just a little ways, cut another slot in so I can straighten that out a little better. That's where I want it. Because I think before I cut up here, which, I mean, because it's stretched. I mean, there's a spot about this long where it's stretched. I think I'll probably just go to the middle, which is going to be, yeah, maybe right about there. But we'll get this down, and because actually I can probably weld that up right now. So let me get the welder set up, and well, okay, so I got welder hooked up, And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push this gate, because this is real easy to flex. I'm going to push this gate back just a little and start my weld. Well, it doesn't. What's going to kind of hurt me a little bit today is a little bit of wind that's blowing. Okay. We got pretty good penetration there. So that don't look too bad. And I think I'm going to move up just a tad bit higher than originally planned to cut a slot. I got my slot cut, and then I took a strap tied to the gate into the barn and take my straight edge, and still not perfect. So let's tighten our strap a little more and see if I can close that gap up completely. I got that pretty close. So yeah, so if I go from top to bottom, I still got a little bit of a gap here. But instead of this being bowed this way, I got it now where it's a little, yeah, instead of being this way, it's a little bit the other way. So that way he runs up on it, he could always, um, he's not going to bow it back down quite as quick if he runs something heavy up on it. So I put that back on, and okay. Another thing that me and the owner of the trailer had talked about was where, not too bad a wear in here, but this pin is getting wore kind of thin. So I was just going to weld in here and build it back up while I'm here, and then we'll get the gate opened up. Okay, let's see how that works. Oh yeah, that still goes in there just fine. Just got a little bit more wear area. Start out here. First thing I'm going to do is cut my slots in here, which this one here don't amount to much. I'm sure it's even yeah, I don't think that's a crack. That's just cracked paint, but that's is definitely a crack there. And now that I got my groove cut in it, we'll just weld it up. Let's call that good. I got my piece of steel laid up here. I got it kind of overhanging the bottom, so yeah, so kind of gonna do it kind of like in the valley fill, and also give me a little more room back here to get the backside. Even though I don't know I'm gonna get a good job back here because trying to hold this gun and weld on the backside might be a challenge, but I'm gonna try. But for now, I think I'll hit the top and the bottom so I can take my clamps off there. Okay, let's get underneath here. And here we go. That's why you wear your gloves. So don't burn your hand where you stabbed it with the screwdriver earlier. Okay. Okay, well, I'm just going to finish getting this welded up, and then we'll have to turn the trailer around and start working on the front end. All right, well, getting ready to get these welded back up. And the last time I welded these, I just welded over the top of them. And they didn't hold up, so my weld broke. So that's why this time we're cutting our groove down in it, and we're going to do the top and then get down here on the bottom uh, and open that up so that I can weld in that gap. And now I'm going to turn around and get on the back side inside here and weld as much as I can, because it's right even with this angle iron, so it's be able to weld it, but it's going to be hard to see. So, but yeah, I'm going to start out with I'll cut the top one first. It looks like I got down in there better than I thought I was going to. Okay. Okay, I put my vice grips on here and hold that while I take this off. I'll put on a little bit more protective gear now, just so I get tired of those fireballs hitting me on the arms or the hands. Okay. So that angle iron's so thin, I got to turn the heat down a little. Stool out of the way. All right, here we go. Okay. Actually, I burnt through really well on the front side. Not quite as good on the back side, so. That turned out pretty good. Not even sure I can do anything with this up here because it's recessed up in the hole. Yeah, just hard to get to up there, but I got that all looking. I think I'm just going to cut me a piece of angle iron, say a little less than 7 inches long, to stick up there and see if it'll make a decent rock guard. Almost makes me wish that when he had these cut, he'd just had them squared off, because if those would have been squared off, then that'd have been a nice little guard too. But alright, so I got this piece cut. I got it just in front of the light, and trying to figure out how close to that hole where the light is I want to get it, because the closer I get it, the more it protects the wires. And then I take my pencil and kind of put a little bit of mark there, and well, kind of, I know right in there, right behind that, so I can pull this down, and then off the paint, and kind of grind that, and then hit a little spot there. And we can fish that back up in there, and I guess I'm going to turn the welder on because I'm going to have to hold that and weld at the same time. So I get up there where I want it. I got slag on the tip of my gun and it was sticking to the trailer. Yeah, that'll have to do. And I'm gonna go over and do this exact same thing on the other side, and then yeah, we're coming down to the tail end of stuff. I guess before I go too much farther, I got time. I think it won't take that long to put a couple of these on. That nice thing about it is they're not structural, they're just for appearance. So we don't have to worry about making them, quite as perfect as we would if it was a structural something. So that right there. I just want to tack that and okay, now I gotta do the same thing to the other side, and maybe do a little bit of doctoring up right here. Well, come back here, and here's what I did on the gate. And we still got, I noticed after it got done, it's even got it bowed in that way because there's wrinkles right in there. But that looks a lot better than it did. Okay, so got my angle iron welded in there with a little wing on the top, and so that's going to try and hopefully keep rocks from coming up and getting our light, even though that rocks have knocked that out enough that those terminals on the back of the light itself aren't in very good shape. But between adding this and getting this front put on, of course, that weld's not real pretty. That when the wind kicks up, it really messes up the gas that's shielding my weld. That my vertical there turned out okay, and vertical here, but coming across here, that wind was blowing like this, coming and hitting me, and didn't have nothing. And of course over here, and you can see up here where now this is one of the welds that I did cut the groove and then welded it up, and it's held up good, and then that's where I had my ground clamp. But yeah, that out there don't look too bad, and that one up there, and of course one there, and both of them down there, and then that don't look too bad in there. That I got real good penetration, because some of this I didn't weld on the inside, because I mean I filled in that entire gap. And of course some of this back here it's not very pretty. It looks like a booger weld. And of course I got this front plate on and got the angle iron underneath, so he's good to go for a day or two. But hey, I do appreciate you watching, and that I'll say we always like those thumbs up for the likes. Appreciate all those comments, and appreciate all my subscribers, and anybody that's not a subscriber, better join on in, because no telling what else you'll see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.